Hey everybody, so welcome back. Today we are going to cover a super important topic, and that is challenge groups. So if you've been, a challenger and then you decided to coach, you know all about this. But if you're like me, coming in day one, deciding to build a business and, start a health and fitness program at the same time, then you might have no idea what a challenge group is. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time to explaining one to you, the value of one, how it really works, how you can run great challenge groups, and why that's so important. This is going to be a little bit of a longer video, but I'm going to do my best to talk fast and get all the information in so you have exactly what you need to be successful with these. Okay, so a challenge group is essentially a 21-day or a 30-day, it can be a 60-day, a 90-day group on Facebook. It's an online accountability group that you as a coach will run. So you would create the group and then you'll plug people into it. And it's where everybody kind of posts after they've done their workout, and they post at the end of the day how they did. And it's a way that we as coaches can kind of keep an eye on our challengers and see, what kind of progress they're making and where they need help or what questions they might have, and how we can kind of encourage them and pour into them and just really keep them motivated and accountable and focusing on the right things and staying positive and not letting any negativity creep in that could really deter them or make them give up. So they're really, really amazing. The idea is just pure genius, because when you think about it, so many people start a health and fitness regimen or go to a gym and they start strong for a week, a month, maybe 2 months, and it just fizzles out. Busy, or they're sore, and there's really no one that's going to push them. Hey, I know you're sore, but you know what? You want this. You can do it. And people need that, and they need it every day. And there's really nothing like this anywhere else. So also another problem is at the gym, most people, they go, they work out, or they do, whatever workout programs that they do, and then they eat whatever they want. And they're wondering why they're not getting great results. But nutrition is 80% of results. So they need some help. Most people don't know how to meal plan or meal prep. They don't know where to start. They don't even know what cleaning is. And all of our workout programs come with a meal plan, but people have tons of questions. Like, they open one of those up, like the 21-day fixed meal plan, it can be really overwhelming. So they need a place to go to ask their questions. That's why we spend an entire week in preseason before the group kicks off, sharing all that information, helping them get set up for success, allowing them to ask us questions, sharing our meal plans and our recipes so that they can kind of create their own. So they really have all of the support, the information, the tips they need all in one spot. And we usually are always, you can pick as a coach how you do this. At the beginning, when I was a new coach, I did cheaper prizes. Now I do things all the way up to a bag of Shakeology. But prizes are something that we usually give away as coaches. You can do one kind of bigger one at the end as a grand prize. You can do some smaller weekly prizes. You can do both. But it's a great way to keep people motivated to do their check-ins. And when they're extra motivated, we want them to be motivated themselves. But when they have that extra push, it really does motivate them to work for those points. People love free prizes, recognition, things like that. It just motivates people, and they want it, even a t-shirt, tank top, water bottle. And so they do their check-ins, they stay on top of it. And we want people to keep checking it, because as coaches, then we're able to see how they're doing, right? Versus them getting added to a group and never posting, never checking in, and we have no idea. And it also really helps them to get better results, because if they are like, I want that water bottle, like, I'm going to do my workouts and keep posting them, they're going to get better results. And if they have a good experience, they're like, this was awesome. Like, those prizes made me push, and, I won one. It was awesome. They're probably going to go on social media. They're going to be talking to their friends, or, it's going to be easier for you to get referrals if they had a really great experience. And prizes really do help people with that. So now that you know a little bit about what a challenge group is, private online accountability group where we all kind of do our workouts whatever time throughout the day it works for us. So people have the freedom to be on all different schedules or anywhere really around the world, but we can still all check in with each other every day, and people just have that support that they need. So the value really of one is just that people are getting every piece of the puzzle, instead of, like very often happens, they're just doing a workout and they don't have the support or the encouragement they need, and they don't have the workouts or the nutrition that they need, or they go on some diet and they're trying to nail their nutrition but they're not working out. They don't have any support for when they have those weak moments, those moments where there's lots of temptations around, and they just need a place to be like, help guys, like the office is covered in donuts, somebody keep me from taking one of these. And we do that in our challenge groups. We check in with each other, we make posts just like that. Or I had a terrible day today and I just feel like I'm questioning everything. Like, I don't know if I can really do this. And I love that in the groups, from a coach to all the other challengers, just jump in and yes, you can. Like, don't let that voice win. It is an amazing environment. It's positive and uplifting and supportive, and it's exactly what people need to make a lifestyle. And as you start to see that for yourself, you will have such strong conviction. You'll believe in these groups, and it will be easier for you to talk so confidently about them when you know how much that they've helped you and helped others, and you see the results that people get from them. So when you become a new coach, you might be like, I don't know how to run a challenge group. I don't know what that is. Totally normal. I was the same way. So your personally sponsored coach is going to plug you into their next challenge group. They will let you know ahead of time the date of that so you can advertise for it too and hopefully get some new customers or some friends, family to do it with you. And you will be an apprentice in that one. So that means that if you're ready, you will take the script from the coach and post 1 week of that. So you'll get to watch the preseason, watch the first week, and then you'll be able to actually host the week in the challenge group. And the coach will give you all the information that you need of when to post. And there's a document that I share in here that you can save to your phone and keep so that you kind of know exactly what to do. And you all have your coach right in there with you watching. So if you miss a post or you say something not, your coach is there. They'll kind of be able to tell you, hey, this is how I would handle this in the future, or you're doing a great job, or this is what I might try next time. And you'll have that support. You don't have to freak out and get really scared. And you'll do it together so that the next time you'll actually be ready to run the group by yourself. And if you don't feel like you can, then you're always welcome to pair up with some people again too. Challenge groups are typically run with like 3 or maybe even 4 coaches. So you're never really alone. And that's good for a number of reasons. Not just because you may not know something or you might be still feeling a little bit new at it, but different challengers are going to connect with different coaches. I know in this last group, one of my challengers really connected with one of my other coaches, and she just felt so personally, like their stories were so similar. And my other coach really just inspired my challenger in a way that I even really couldn't because I didn't have the same walk. So I love that we pair up together and it's a better experience for everyone. On that note, the more interaction that happens in a challenge group, the better. So, sometimes it's just quiet. People are new and they don't know what to post. So I always like to be the example first and foremost. So when I make an introduction post where I say, okay, be brave and introduce yourself. Let's get to know each other. Tell me, where you're from, what you do, what your goals are for this round, what program you're following. I immediately put my own picture up first and my introduction. And that shows them how it's done. Because if I don't, sometimes they just make a random post. They don't do it in the comment section, or it just is kind of dead. It's quiet. Nobody posts anything because they don't know. So you've got to always lead by example. And that is true for everything in a challenge group. So when you post a daily challenge in the morning, we typically in a challenge group will have a daily challenge in the morning, like tricep dip Tuesday. Do as many triceps as you can in, a minute and count how many you did. Set your timer. Or, fight for it Friday. Hold a plank, for as long as you can and share the time. Or, Tasty Tuesday, share your favorite recipe, whatever it is. That daily challenge we usually post in the morning, so they have all day long to see it and do it to still get their points for the prize. At the end of the night, maybe around like 8 p.m., 7:30 p.m., we post more of an informational post about how they're feeling, something they might need to know about soreness, some tips, helpful information, or maybe just something really heartfelt that we're noticing everyone's having an issue with getting on the scale or getting frustrated and we don't want them on the scale. So maybe we make a post about why they should stay off the scale, things like that. Or maybe there's just something on your heart and you feel like somebody else would benefit from hearing it too. And so you just kind of write all good stuff. The more of you that you put into the challenge group, the more creativity, the better. As a new coach, you're probably like, I don't know what to say. I'm just going to copy the script. That's totally fine. I did that for a while too. But then eventually you'll get more comfortable. You'll find your voice as a coach. And the better that, when you start to put that out, the better it will even be. The more it'll touch people. So you want to be that example. So with the daily check-in, do the check-in yourself. Do it as soon as you can. Get that up there so people can see what it looks like and the hashtag and how that works. At the end of the day, make sure you do your daily check-in. And no one is perfect. I don't expect you guys to have your post-workout selfie and your daily check-in and, all day, every day, and everything's done perfect. We are coaches, and we're on our own health and fitness journeys too. We're not perfect. I don't ever want you to think that because you're coaching, you have to be perfect and this perfect example. But what I do want you to do is stay engaged, interacting, no matter how you do, so that you set that example for your challengers. And they are watching you. And I don't mean that to scare you like you've got to be perfect. I mean that as they want to see from you that if you mess up, that you're still going to check in with the group and say, hey, I had a terrible day. I didn't get my workout in. I didn't whatever. But you know what? I'm not going to give up on myself. I'm not going to get too down because I know I'm doing amazing and I'm going to get right back on it tomorrow. That is going to inspire somebody else. I can guarantee you that you'll see another check-in or two within 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes from someone who also bombed their day and said that they, weren't going to check in. They wanted to hide, but then they saw you did. Or maybe they don't even come out and say that that's why they still checked in, but that's why they checked in, is because they saw that. So that's definitely something to keep in mind, and really important is that you always be that example of staying, of not running away from the group, of not missing your check-ins. You will find, and I promise you, hopefully you don't learn this the hard way, that when you stop checking in yourself, when you just focus too much on the business end of things and you stop being that proof of the product every day that you do in these challenge groups, when you stop being that example for people, which is really what we are as a coach, more than anything, we're working on ourselves. When you stop doing that and stop staying accountable to yourself, you'll notice that your challengers stop doing the same. When you miss check-ins and you miss, the groups, and you don't really interact that much, your challengers won't post as much. And that means they're probably not doing it as much and they're not getting as good of results. And ultimately your business won't be thriving. Everything comes from these challenge groups. These challenge groups are the backbone of your business. You really can't put too much time or energy in them. For about a year, I spent time every round creating new challenges, trying to research online and find creative new ideas, little names for challenge groups, cute images, like coming up, thinking about new prizes, and most importantly, just switching up my script so that for those people who stayed with me from one round to the next, it wasn't the same thing. And then I came up with about 3 big ones that I would switch in and out. And then even then, I still try to spice them up. So I don't want it to be the exact same experience every time. You can come up with creative challenge group themes and names. If you want to do like a prayer and meditation challenge group, 21 days of praying and eating right and working out, or if you want to do, the sky is truly the limit with these groups. You can be as creative as you want. Slim down for summer, or, and you get to do that with your free groups too. Free groups are usually like a 5 to 7 day group that we run. I recommend you do it in the first week of the month. And that's a place you can plug in anybody who doesn't have the money or doesn't know you and you're trying to build a relationship with and you want them to trust you. It's such an awesome way to add value for free. You know that you're helping people, not expecting anything back. And I have found that mostly every time I do a free group, I get 1 or 2 or 3 people who purchase from me and decide to continue on with me in a regular challenge group. I've gotten great coaches that way. Or they come down a month, 2 down the road and say, hey, that group was awesome. I decided I'm ready to join you. So it's a wonderful way. And they run just the same. Even more in the free groups, you have to be the example. You have to be extra engaged, extra interacting, because those ones are harder to keep the energy up. But the more energy in the groups, the better. So that starts with you. You want to be commenting and checking in as much as you can with your challengers. Now, I don't want you, and this is a common new coach mistake, to just be having all of these alerts on your phone where your phone keeps lighting up when you're making dinner with your kids, with your husband. No, I would not let your notifications come up on your phone. It'll be really distracting and it'll be hard to focus, and I just don't want you on it 24/7. So what I recommend that you do is turn those notifications off, and then when you log into Facebook to work, that's when you check in with your challenge. And I recommend checking in 2 to 3 times a day. So morning, maybe nap time or lunchtime, and then after dinner when you're getting ready for bed or just sitting around. So I'll at least check in with your challengers twice a day. Sometimes people have questions and they're kind of timely, so you just want to at least scroll. But definitely don't just like comments, right? Like that doesn't do much for anyone at all. It kind of just shows that you didn't have enough time to invest in them, or take the time to write something. It also can get really easy to just be like, yay, good for you. And although those comments are fine, you want to make sure that you have enough sprinkled in where you're actually saying something of value. Giving them a tip, answering a question, saying, hey, I know that you had a 4 on your food for the last couple of days. Let's see a 5 tomorrow. It's hard for new coaches to hold people accountable or to push them, but that's what a coach is. We're there to support and encourage and inspire, but motivate. We want to help hold them accountable. If you see that somebody says that they have a 2 on their water for a whole week, you should be saying something like, hey, do you need some tips for how you can up your water intake? Or ask a question, what's the struggle with the water? Are you not taking it with you when you leave? Do you not like the flat flavor of it? Do we need to get you some recipes? Whatever, it may be. That's your job as a coach, to notice and then to interact. So the more that you comment on things, the better, and make sure that you are not just commenting on your challengers' posts. Everyone in the group needs your encouragement. As a coach, we are all working as a team to make these challenge groups awesome. I highly doubt that you could run a challenge group by yourself and make it amazing, right? You probably need your coach and her example. You need her scripts and her time and her, what she's done, and the other coaches that are with you that are commenting maybe and saying things before you knew what to say. So we all work better together. And we want to love on each other's challengers, because like I said earlier, you might have a challenger who just totally reacts better with me, or vice versa. And you don't want me to just ignore them. You want me to engage and share what I know and help them. But you want to be doing the same for everybody's challengers. So what I try to do is I log in, let's say I'm logging in at 8:30 at night to check in with everybody, and I start at the top, and I just start to go down, boom, 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 all the way down the list. I check in all the way down until the last one I had commented on earlier that day. I really want to make sure that I do a good job of loving on everybody and giving everybody attention. Rather than checking in, I find that I spend a lot more time in the groups. If I just check in all kinds of little check-ins throughout the day, that time all adds up versus if I just check in the morning, a longer check-in in the morning to check on those late night ones that came in and the early morning ones. And then, a little one around nap time, and then a bigger, again, checking in with everybody at nighttime. I just try to do that. And I'll tell you, my challenge groups have really always been thriving. I always get compliments on the energy of them. Even when I'm not at my best or in a busy season of life, I guess it's still a lot better than many of the groups out there. And I pride myself on that. I want my team to do that because I have found that when I do this, not only do my challengers get better results, which is what we want, right? They paid for a product and a whole and complete system, and they get that from the challenge group. That's what makes us different. And we as coaches create that. We foster that environment. So you've got to figure out, what environment do you want? Do you want your groups to be interactive and high energy and fun? You can make more videos. You can get crazy. Just hop on and do a live feed and be like, girls, it's Monday. Let's get up and work it. Like, make it yourself. The more you pour in, the better your groups are going to be and the more energy that you give to them. So don't be afraid to share things. I know as a new coach, you might be like, well, I don't know what to share. If you see a great recipe online, just hop in and say, hey, gals, saw this, thought it was great. I thought I would share it with you. Or, I struggle with meal planning. I just saw these great tips online. I hope maybe, you guys will take something from these too. So share. That's what we do in the groups, is we share, encourage. You are a professional cheerleader now. Don't worry about what you don't know. Just cheer people on. More often than not, that's what people need, is just to be encouraged, to be inspired, to be uplifted, and to be supported. Just kind of holding everybody's hand through this process and relate to them, connect with them. That's what they're really looking for, is that support and encouragement. And then if there is a question, like someone says, hey, does this spaghetti sauce count as a purple or a red or a green? And you don't know the answer, Google is now your best friend. I didn't know a lot of these answers as a new coach, and I felt bad about constantly asking my coach, hey, I don't know this, hey, I don't know that. And she just told me, use Google. Like, find the answers yourself and share them. Maybe check it in 2 places to make sure it's accurate, but definitely Google is definitely going to be your best friend. So we are not nutritionists. We're not experts. We don't pretend to be. We're just coaches. So if there's a question that you don't know the answer to, it's totally fine. And if you don't seem to be able to find it, then tag your coach in it. Be like, hey, Kim McCluskey, do you know the answer to this? I looked, but I'm not certain, or something like that. That's fine. You never have to be afraid. If you see something and you don't know the answer, at least comment and say, like, hey, girl, I'm not sure the answer to this. I'm going to reach out to my coach and get right back to you. We just want to let them know that we saw the question. If you get to it first before me, do me that favor, and of course I'll do it for you. Want to let them know that we saw it and that we're working on it. So remember to be honest in your check-ins. If you had a rough day, I kind of touched on this briefly earlier, it's okay. Let them see that. For a long time, I was doing perfect with my workouts, perfect with my check-ins. And one day I had a bad day and I wanted to hide from the group, right? I didn't want anybody to know. I felt like I failed them because I'm their coach. And if I couldn't do it, how could I expect them to? And I'll tell you, I decided just to be honest and put it all out there. And it was like, there was just so much support, so much. And it was crazy and eye-opening to have some of my challengers tell me, wow, that's amazing. You're human. I had no idea. You seemed kind of like a robot. And we don't want to be like that, right? Because that's not inspiring. Perfection is not inspiring. Progress is. And sometimes progress, it happens in all different ways, shapes, and forms. For me, learning how to be okay with not nailing everything perfectly is progress for me. So allow yourself to just be you, and this is your journey. Be honest, stay accountable, and be transparent. So let people see what's really going on. Never run away and hide from these groups. The more you are engaged and interacting, no matter what's going on in your life, the more your challengers will be. We want to set that example. No matter how you did, if you got zeros all across the board, still check in with us. Let us know how you're doing. Don't be afraid to hold them accountable. And remember that you are a cheerleader more than anything. You're going to start with a script, but eventually you're going to find your own voice, and then it's going to really, really, really rock. Don't be afraid to ask them questions. If you make a post and say, da, 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 like, what do you think, ladies? How are you feeling? Or, how many of you have already started hitting your goals for 2016? What are your top 3 goals for 2016? Or whatever it may be. Engagement, the more engagement in the group, the better. We want to get them engaging with each other, encouraging each other, interacting with each other. And that really helps everybody have a better experience and helps us see who the ones are that could potentially be rocking coaches in the future. So ultimately, the groups are about you setting the example, fostering a great environment, and just loving on people, supporting them, and just pouring your energy and your heart into them, people will get great results and it will just blow up your business. They're going to be referring people to you. They're going to be posting about it on social media. You're going to have awesome before and after pictures that you can share with people. It's just going to be absolutely incredible. You're going to have cool prizes that you get that you can share on social media, and people are going to be like, I want that. But ultimately, the more you put into your groups, the better you're going to find that your business is doing. People are going to want to stay on with you and discount coach, and it's just going to be awesome. So I hope that this video helped you. So get in there, get signed up with your first apprenticeship for a challenge group, and just dive right in. Don't let fear hold you back. You're only going to learn it by doing, and it's going to be great. All right, everybody, have a great day.